Hello, people. Hello, saints. Hello, friends, family from all over the world. This is Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey, and welcome to another beautiful episode of Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey. Because we're here as Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey, it's gonna be fun with Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey and all of you all over the world that has been like supporting us, sending messages and commenting and all of those things and sharing and telling us how much you've learned. Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey says thank you. Welcome. All this I'm saying is welcome. And don't mind my glasses. I think I'm a bit stressed, tired, swollen face, sleepy.
So he's gonna do cool kid for this episode.
This guy is still okay, Sha.
Oh,
real
please.
life.
Always fine.
Come on now. Anyway, welcome to this beautiful episode of Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey. Now, I love this particular episode, and I think it's going to be quite interesting. What she's about to say to me, I don't know. What I'm about to say to her, she does not know.
This is an idea he literally came up with this morning. And when he started to say it, I was like, and as he was explaining, I was like, I love that. That's gonna be so much fun. Because remember I told y'all that a lot of times I don't know what he's gonna say in the episode, which is like the fun part, But this is, you want me to explain it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. We each have 2 or 3, however many things you have. It can either be a compliment, a comment, or something you feel the other person could work on or be better at. And we're going to say this on camera to each other and share with you guys, because why not? We're all doing life together. We believe that our marriage is a blessing to others, as well as, other people's marriages are a blessing to us. So us just having this real moment with each other, I think is going to be awesome. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he has to say or ask. Because it can be a question too, I guess.
Yes.
I don't have any questions.
All I'm saying right now is a fine girl.
Thank
Beautiful
you, baby.
girl.
Y'all, this is my shy girl.
No makeup. She's looking up. We always talk about this. Maybe this is supposed to be one of them, but let me just say it's not one of them. Like, I literally prefer my wife a million times.
He says it all the time.
Without
Ladies,
makeup.
You know how we are. Now,
I
since
love it.
I learned how to
She's
do my
much
makeup, I'm always going to do my makeup, when it's time to record. But if you ladies have seen my eyebrow tutorial video, you will know that I said my skin has been doing, so
And
I'm
every
letting
time
it
she
breathe.
says her skin, especially when she was pregnant, like every time she says her skin, I can't see it. All I'm seeing is
like,
a
all I see
fine
is
girl. Beautiful. She said, my skin is
Meanwhile-
so. I'm happy. My nose is getting. I say, I can see only a beautiful girl.
I was looking like his brother.
What?
In my eye.
What? It's not true. And I was being honest. I can't see nothing. I just see
like,
the
"Baby, you're
beautiful
beautiful."
girl, fine girl. She keeps saying, "Can you see this girl?" I said, "No, I can't." I just see this awesomely
Ladies, you already know.
well-made.
We
They
see
gathered
all of our
like
imperfections.
17 to 30 angels to create wonderfully and beautifully made by God
Hey,
and ordained for such a time as this for your brother,
such a
your
man as
guy.
this.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all I see.
Praise God for men of God who he doesn't know that words of affirmation is one of his love languages, the way he gives love. Man, he does an excellent job at it.
I think we did words of affirmation.
Yeah, we did love
Probably would have
languages.
said,
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know the order.
Yeah, we just put our things.
It is
Anyways,
well.
yeah, so you're gonna start.
Okay.
Ladies first, like they always
One
say.
and one, right?
Yeah, one.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me know what it is.
So-
Random thoughts, random question, random idea, random gesture, random activity or situation that's
Just-
happening. But anything
just
random.
random.
And please try this with your husband or your wife.
This
This
is
awesome of
fun.
all these ideas we have. try it at home, sit down with your spouse, and just
then come back and let us know how
let
it
us know
went.
what.
Of course,
yeah.
y'all know the routine. All right, so my first thing is a compliment. So baby, I want to let you know that I really appreciate how patient you are. I feel like I tell you that often, or maybe not as much as I used to. Like when we first met, I was surprised at how patient he was, because we said this in one of the other videos. He does well with multitasking, so I feel like because you do so well with multitasking, you work well under pressure and you're patient under pressure. And I've never really seen you lose it. Like I know you get passionate about work, but I've never seen you frazzled, or your feathers ruffled per se. And I appreciate that because I don't multitask very well. God has given me grace in that area, and I can sometimes get overstimulated and overwhelmed and and my husband is my rock. Like, hey, you know how they say, the husbands are supposed to love their wives like Christ loved the church. Like Jesus is so patient with us, his long suffering like knows no limits. And I know that I can, I can be a person. I can be human. That's exactly what I want to say. Especially with the baby, God has given me like supernatural patience since having her, but I still feel like it's nothing compared to my husband's. So I just want to appreciate you for like literally being a safe place. And I feel like I don't take it overboard. I still know that that's an area I'm growing in, but I do feel like I can comfortably grow in that area and not feel ashamed, or beat myself up because I might be overwhelmed, at a certain point. But yeah, baby, you are the bomb.
Thank you so much.
.com.
If I would have a response to that, and this is me. This is what I think personally about relationships and marriage and sort of whatever has to do with relationship, whatever kind of relationship it is. And I hope somebody might learn from this. So when the Bible says, "Love your wife," it's not really telling you to love your wife when she is at her best. It means you have to love her regardless. You have to prepare to love her. I mean, that's sort of the mindset that I have, that the love is actually tested when she's not supposed to be loved. When she has given you more reason not to love her, that is when the efficacy or the strength or the practicality of the love should now work. Because if you're doing everything right and I love you, then it's okay.
Not really that, yeah.
But when I'm not supposed to love you and I love you, when you do stuff that, and I'm not saying you're doing, I'm just saying generally.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
When that's the point when that love should, because what we do is that when the person messes up, we don't love the person again, and that's not
conditional.
Yeah, that's not what Jesus did. Jesus loved us regardless. So when God says love your wife, it means that in her worst times, when she provokes you, when she hurts you, when she says stuff, in fact, when she says stuff that you're supposed to be mad, that's when if you don't have that kind of love to share at that point, then you truly are not representing what the Bible said.
Yeah.
The same way with submission is when the man does something that is supposed to really get you, really like you at that point you're supposed to just raise your voice and just let's bust everything. That's when you're supposed to be. I mean, if even no matter at the worst and the highest height of the test, that's when that submission is supposed to work more.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the mindset, and that's what I carry inside of me when I'm dealing with her, relating with her. So when she sees that I would never be offended when anything is wrong. That's when I will show her love. I remember when we're trying to get her somewhere, and she has pumped milk. And the first one, I don't know what happened, spilled.
I knocked the first one over. I only pumped two because we were pressed for time.
And I came out and I saw it.
I was like,
I said, oh my God, baby, calm down, relax, do. So she had only one and was saying, okay, let's just manage this one. We just came in, she just came to the sink and did it like this, thinking that it was closed or something.
I thought the top was on it, and then that was spilled.
It's last milk, and we're going out, we're going to stay out for hours. And that is when I want to love her. That's when I went to hug her.
You said,
that's
baby, it's okay. We don't have to go. We don't have to. It was Father's Day, y'all. I said, it's not about me today. We're going to go. And if I have to go to the car and feed her or whatever, we're going. But it caused me to literally not cry over spilled milk because he really meant what he said. And I was like, no, I'm not going to allow this to ruin his day. Like, it's Father's Day. It's, child, I'll have some more milk, later, literally in a few hours. It's okay.
But that's it. Yeah. That's why. I mean, I can go on and on, but the test of what Bible says about you loving your wife or wife submitting your husband is it's not when things are right, it's when everything goes wrong. That's when you should get that out. Yeah. And it comes from a place where you have actually built that whole stamina to be able to, even for yourself, you have to check yourself.
It's kind of like a muscle. You exercise it.
All right.
Praise God.
This is one that is quite deep and special to me. That's supposed to be
the fact that thing has been going since we've been recording, it's our dryer. We didn't even realize it was on. So now it's a little more quiet in here. Okay.
So this is very special to me, and it was a shock to me, and it was strange. It was weird. It was also crazy. What I'm about to say about her. It's sort of a weird sort of thing, and and even though she said that I've been very very supportive, loved her regardless, being calm, and I mean, people don't know me for that. They know me as in leadership, I'm a bit just crazy. Like, I just fight, I just shout.
So I say he's passionate.
Yes. Okay, let's use the word passionate. But people that know me very well, 100% understand that I am a very, very, in fact, I hide that part of me. I said the other day in one of the posts on my Instagram page, on my YouTube page, my personal YouTube page, that, it's okay for men to cry. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, one of the things that we don't show every time as Christians is our emotions. We don't try to want people to see. In fact, that's what the society has made everything look like. Everything looks perfect. Instagram, TikTok, everything is. Nobody shows you when they're crying, when they're struggling, when they're going through stuff. They just show when everything is perfect. They show when they buy their car, get into the house, and all of those things. But having said that, what she said really blessed me so much. And it's important that you say some of these things to one another as couples, just to sort of encourage yourself. And I felt really good. I mean, it felt very good, and it's also very encouraging. But this lady right here said something to me one day that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it touched me so much, got me a little bit emotional. I thought about it for a couple of days. And I've said this to her a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to say it to you guys to hear for the first time. So we were a day or 2 days before she was going to have baby Rain. She knows what I'm about to talk about now. We're driving, and in the car, she just said, babe. I say, okay, none of my gist. And she says, I just want to tell you something very important. We're going to be having baby Rain next tomorrow. And, this thing, and I'm very serious about it, just in case anything goes wrong. I just turned. He said, just in case anything goes wrong in the birth process, God forbid, but just in case. God forbid, but just in case. I said, what's she saying? Anything goes wrong. And there is a time there will be a choice between you choosing the baby or herself. I said, please do not choose me over the baby. Choose the baby and let me go if it comes to that. Like, literally saying that if it's a life and death situation, and the doctors said to me, either you keep the child or you keep your wife, that I should keep the child. And she meant it seriously.
I cry every time I think about this.
And that messed me up big time. Like, honestly, I didn't see that coming, number one. I have never ever heard anything like that in my life. And I shut her down immediately. I told her that is not possible. That can never happen. Nothing is happening to both of you, but we're never going to get to that point. But for her to open her mouth and say that to me, and that I couldn't sleep. It put me under pressure, like thinking, how would she? How? So now thinking about it now, I just know the kind of heart that she has. You know, not just, it speaks of just the integrity of her Christianity, where you know that Jesus chose to die for us. Jesus chose to give his life for us, for us, even when he didn't know us. The child that she does not know, child that has not even come out, she's choosing to give her life for the child if it comes to that. That was the weirdest, craziest, but most emotionally draining, loving, I don't know how to describe it, thing I've ever heard. And that made me just not only love her more, but respect her, honor her. I thought that we're on this for a long run and call. Like, we're going to be 50 together, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. Then if whatever we decide. So there is nothing happening to you, baby. And we're going to have, if we want, more babies, and you're going to be healthy, baby's going to be healthy. But to say that shows her heart. It's like saying I was going to sacrifice myself for the good of an unborn child. That's one of the craziest, weirdest things. And I want to tell you that touched me so much, and that's made me also see your heart and know who you are and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you were going to say until you were like...
that was crazy. Like, I don't know, but I mean, you guys, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section for ladies and guys. That was crazy.
And what prompted it was a few days before that, I had seen a post on Twitter, and a girl, it was, I don't want to say jokingly, because I feel like she was serious, but the way the post was structured was like, if I ever have a baby and it comes down to me or the baby, you better choose me, or something. It was something like that. And it really like, I felt like my heart kind of, I don't know, because I'm like, if the choice ever came, I feel like, God, I've seen the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, right? And I'm like, God, if that's what it came down to, I trust your decision. I trust you. And I cry and I get emotional every time he mentions that, because I know the frame of mind I was in, and I was literally at peace. Like, God, this birth plan, things aren't really going the way we thought they would. It's kind of like a high risk situation, but I'm literally putting my life and my child's life in your hands, and whatever you decide, I'm okay with it. And praise God, it didn't come down to that. My husband didn't have to do that. But yeah, God, hey.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I love you, baby.
I love you too.
All right. Oh, yeah.
You made me cry. Don't wipe my lashes off. Okay. So, hey. All right. So I saw a post. I'm always referencing posts. Okay. And I like to let it be known that it came from a post, because I don't like to plagiarize people's ideas and concepts or whatever. But it is something that I want to also speak into your life and encourage you with. So the way the person was sharing the story was that someone else was encouraging them and saying that they should start, and this was in a secular arena. It wasn't, I don't know if they're Christian or not, but they told the person to start making decisions from their talent and not from a place of desperation. That's what the post said. But what I want to say to you is my prayer is that you begin to operate from your anointing and not from a hustle mindset. And I say that because you got ambition like no other. Like it's like this, literally. Like my husband, God will give my husband an idea, you know, and he always talks about how God gives us one step. He may not show you the second and the third one. But once God shows him one, he's already like, okay, God, I'm moving with what you've given me, and you will correct, you know, you'll show me along the way. And that is, God blesses that, you know, but I feel like when it's a bigger things, it's such a faith walk and such a necessity to rest in God's promises and not do. And I think it's very hard for you not to do a lot of times. And you hustle. And I feel like God is calling you, and I'm specifically talking about here in the US. He's calling you to make impact here. And it's not going to be easy. And I feel like your ambition is necessary, but before the ambition kicks in, I think it's going to be a radical amount of just faith and rest that's going to be required. And I think you know it, like it's showing up in like him wearing glasses, because he's like working on multiple projects right now. And Rain and I, and Brian too, are actually going to Maryland tomorrow. And my prayer is that he would maximize this time that we're away, and you would pray. When I say pray, I'm talking about pray like, you know, them prayer mountains that I've heard about in Nigeria, where there's, so guys, when I used to hear about the prayer mountains, I thought they were like retreats. No, it's a mountain where like people sleep outside. Like, it's real. That's what I pray for you in this time that we're gone. Like, God encounters you like radically. Like, it's like, babe, I saw Jesus type, you know, encounters, because God can do those things, you know. And I'm being dead serious. Like, I want God to rock your world while we're gone, and you begin to just have this sense of rest and peace that's like, God is, it's going to happen, period, regardless. Like, there's nothing you can say or do that's going to stop the move of God. There's nothing you can say or do that's going to mess up the call of God on your life. Like, and I think there's so much he wants to impart to you in just that secret place, and that place of you being a son and you just sitting at his feet like a little kid and just receiving that rest and that peace that passes our understanding and that joy unspeakable. And you'll receive supernatural downloads in Jesus' name, and things that were hard will be easy for you. And I'm excited because we'll be gone for a few weeks, and when I come back, hey.
So, really, thank you first. And secondly, you know, most of you might not understand totally, but I'm actually in the middle of some sort of, there's a lot that's, of course, the call or the vision or some of this things have been there for a while, and I've tried to stay away from it. I've tried not to do them, but I'm getting into the season where God is taking me into a different, whole new level in my work with him, ministry-wise, and all of those things. And I mean, she did not meet me before now, but she does not know that in my mind, in America here, I'm actually sort of in a place of some level of rest, because if she knew me when I was in Nigeria, everything I'm doing right now is like 25% of what I did in Nigeria, or even 15% of what I did in Nigeria. Nigeria, I worked, and it's not because I want to struggle to do things. It's because I believe in putting in the work when it comes to, I'm not one to be lazy about, how people take the work of God for granted, or because you're talented, you now become lazy or just chill and just be laid back and want to just keep just navigating through, keep searching for more, keep digging deeper, keep pressing myself. But sometimes I do that to the detriment of my health. And that's really what she's talking about. Sometimes I put myself under, like last night, I was literally working with my guys in Nigeria till about, they woke up at 6 o'clock. I started working with them from 6 o'clock till about 8:30 in the morning for some of them. And that was 2:30 my time a.m. here. And I have to wake up at 6 o'clock to go and drop Brian in school and then come back. So she sort of gets really stressed out when I'm at that level of work. And then of course some things now will not add up or will not work and all of those things. And of course as a human being I get a bit worried and stuff like that. And then she keeps telling me, which is the beautiful thing about her, just take it to God in prayers. My man, I'm taking it to God in prayer, but there are some things that will still happen, if you understand dreams. That's why Joseph had an amazing dream. After the dream, telling everybody, the next place he found himself was in the pits. That didn't look like the dream. Prison, that didn't look like the dream. So if anybody saw him, it would have been stressful. He would have been worked up. He would have, Job was just by himself, and God was bragging about him, and that messed up almost everything that he had. And anybody that would have seen him curse God and die, even the wife. So, but the beautiful thing is that now I have her in my life, and it changes the equation of everything that I do. That I have to listen to her when sometimes I try activating that whole, because I enjoy doing 5, 7, 10 things at the same time. I want to have 5, 7 meetings at the same time, talking about 5 different things, and being able to mentally give 100% and relate with every situation, everybody at their level. It just gives me joy. I sort of have it feels like it refreshes me up. It makes me like I just don't know. It's so beautiful. I feel really good doing all of those things and being able to manage them so well that nothing goes wrong. But even whilst Mr. A is has a group they're working with, and I'm working with them, and I have B, C, D, E, F different projects, Mr. A is crying that this is too much for me. And I'm wondering, it's too much for you when I'm doing 7 other projects. This one that you're doing is, but I understand, I've learned after so many years that we all have different capacity. But I agree that I have to just sort of, even though I feel like I've slowed down here for the season that I'm here in America before I get back to Nigeria, but she still feels like it's too much, and I agree.
Because we're in a different season. Like Rain is 4 months, and she's in alert.
By the time they are saying this, she probably will be like 5 months
more.
She's getting louder, and she wants your attention. Louder. She wants your attention. If I'm singing, she wants her voice to be louder than my own voice. Anyways, but truly thank you so much, baby, for always supporting, praying. I've had lots of people call me, send me messages, and send me revelations and visions and prophecies that speaks to the same thing that God wants to do. It's so big what God wants to do that I need to prepare very well for it, and I'm really in that place, and I'm gradually growing into it, preparing myself prayerfully. The 3 things I try to do this season: number 1, find my prayer time and pray, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy for me, but it has to be just consistently seeking that time with God. When then number 2, study a lot more. Number 3, just find time when you can just, it's not events for going for event, it is not because people are around, where me and my father can just sit down and just serenade him, just worship him. It's not about good voice or playing skillfully. It's just about dedicating that moment of worship, not asking him for anything. Just those are things that I know God is leading me to just prep myself with, because of the huge work that He's asking me to jump into in this season. And like she said, if they ask me, okay, this is it, just take jump or walk to this, I'll just fly. The moment God gives instruction, I don't think twice. I jump into, in as much as I hear God, even in the midst of any failure or the failure of the stuff, I just put my whole life into it. That's the kind of love I have and passion I have for the work of God. But I'm learning to slow down and rest.
Yeah.
But there's something big God is putting together. It's God's work. So doing it from a place of rest is super. And we've discussed this over and over again. So love you, baby.
I love you more.
This one is a bit funny, but I'm gonna mix it up with something first.
Okay.
First, this is by the side. This is side, like
this isn't the thing.
This is.
But you're
not
about
the
to
thing.
say okay.
But most people don't know, and I've said it to her before, but I want to say this to her, my wife, that I know she has the call of God over her life. I know she has a prophetic side of her, but for now she sees almost like discernment. She could see things, she could feel things, she could see somebody and say, there's something that I'm feeling about this, I've seen about this person, and 99.999% of the time she's always right. So I understand the ministry side, but while she's telling me to slow down, I'm sort of telling her, come on, get into this thing. My wife is a bit very, very cautious and careful. It's one step after the other. She wants to hear God. Of course, hearing God clearly is good, but she wants to be, it's almost like she wants to come to grow up. And I feel like God is telling her to take that baby steps in those things, but she wants to take her time and mature to it. There's something she doesn't want to say, but I know that this is. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But she has a call of God over her life, and
sorry, go finish. Even though that's not your thing, I want to speak to it.
And I'm praying that with time, and I'm also helping her every day, just encouraging her. And all this. And she preaches, she prays, she studies. Everything about God's work is something that gets her excited, and she really does have a call, a ministry, but I know that gradually we're going to walk into that season, hopefully, by the grace of God.
Amen. So what I wanted to say to that was, I kind of shy away from what we had discussed that you wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I'm not really comfortable with that, because I believe that when you take the position of a spiritual leadership position, it's a very weighty call, it's not something to be taken lightly. And I always think of pastors, for instance. I feel like some people take the call of a pastor lightly. I don't have any particular pastor in mind right now, but I'm just saying, you're literally responsible for people's souls. People are looking up to you. And if we believe in everything that we say we believe in as Christians, your life has to look like Christ. And we can be our own biggest, critics and worst enemies sometimes. And God is definitely showing me that there's grace, that I'm not a serial killer, we all have things that we have to grow through and go through. So that's why I kind of dig my heels in the sand, because hey, once you say this is who I am and this is the gifting that I'm operating in, and
I'm 100%
you're held
that.
accountable for those things you say.
There has to be a balance between you allowing God use you, like what you told me earlier. Be careful that you are allowing God use you as suppose wanting to be fully in charge and totally ready. And sometimes readiness is beautiful, especially when you want to. Jesus, got to the point, even though he was in the church at 13, opened the Bible and said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to speak, to preach, deliverance, But it was at 30 that he started his ministry fully. So even though all of those things, but do not want to be at the point where you know enough that what you know becomes a challenge to what God, how you want to be in a place where you're a baby. You want God to just help you, just freely just express yourself. Whatever God tells you, I suppose trying to know enough so that you're meticulous, you're articulate, you want to make sure you do things properly.
Pride.
And once you're doing that, it's no longer God that is in charge, it is you. So God actually would rather have somebody with a baby heart that would just allow him make decision, allow him speak, but just find a way of having the boldness to allow God use you as a vessel, as opposed to being afraid and being timid and all of those things.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to find that and figure that out
Amen.
between you and God. God always finds his own way of doing his own things and sorting out his children. So, but that balance is very key.
It's so crazy, like we're on two different ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
But that's the beautiful
good.
part of our marriage, because we balance each other out. Like he's always encouraging me to pursue, certain giftings or opportunities, and I call him to, hey baby, slow down a little bit, So
even from day one, even with studies and some different things.
Real quick,
it's always like battle.
Before we share the last thing, when we first met, probably like the second conversation we ever had,
I'm shy.
I shared with him that I was working in Washington, D.C. with a community economic development planning team. And we were teaching, if you know anything about DC, we were teaching Ward 8 residents the importance and benefits of community economic development, like telling them how to take control of their community and, become self-sufficient. And I was sharing with him like how passionate I was about that work, because like that's the city I grew up in. Like I want to see people be their best selves, overcome the obstacles and things like I'm really saying, like, it's not even about the money, even though I believe that God would bless that work, and I would be able to do it full time. He was like, yeah, that's good, but I think you should work for the UN, the United Nations. And I was like, what? How did we get here? First of all, you don't know me well enough to basically tell me that what I'm passionate about is too small, but that's just who he is. He didn't mean any harm, but he was just like, listening to how, excited I was about that. He's like, girl, they could use you over in this country and that country to like encourage people and train people and, create curriculums.
Let me say something. The way my mind works is, I feel like in my work with God, and this is how God has helped me till today. If it's something that you can control, that you can analyze, you can sit down and comprehend,
it's
and
too small.
Then no, it's not even about, it's too small, that's correct, but it is, God is not involved. The only time it's God is when you have gotten to that point where it is too big for you to handle.
But the only time, baby? Like, no, what if it's...
I mean, not necessarily the only time. You understand what I mean?
Hey, words. I mean, like, only?
She's always careful. Not only, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. If that's your final destination.
God gives you a vision and it is something that you have total control over, then you don't need God. It means that, for instance, you're just doing it and you say, okay, I know 1 + 1 is 2, and meanwhile God is saying 1 + 1 is 1. Doesn't make any sense, or just something about this is. So when somebody shares a vision, somehow God opens my mind to see. Even though I keep saying that what I'm seeing is in bits, but it might look big. So when I started Fearless, for instance, the first guest artist that we had was Marvin Sapp. And
I love Uncle Marvin.
Yo, amazing bishop there. Now, that's when God changed my mind about a lot of things, because I will normally, even with my music, if everybody's going this way, I want to try something that God will be taking me somewhere else that is weird, nobody's going to just do something different and crazy. I'm always one to dare God with faith. I tell God, just tell me, I believe you and it's going to be done. So I just jump into it. And so for myself, for instance, I was telling myself, no, I can't invite. I started meeting different pastors say, can you guys invite Marvin Sapp? I have a connection, I have a relationship, I have somebody that has connected me with him and da. And every pastor will say, it's too much, we can't afford it. One day, someone just tell me, why are you coming to meet us? I mean, what's wrong with you? And I didn't have anything, no penny, no kobo, nothing to do that. And as I was going, God just told me that I didn't send you to all these pastors. I gave you the opportunity for you. I was almost going to ask God how. I said, what? I called my guys. I said, we're bringing myself back. So I called the team. I said, I'm bringing myself. And guess what? A couple of months later, my Versailles, we brought him in. It was a huge success. That was the first concert, even with Kirk. So I've seen God. The problem with people is that you just see things and you want to stay in a place where things are comfortable. And I'm not saying that's not what. But you want to stay where things are comfortable. And the moment you stay in the place that things are comfortable, God will just say, well, you don't need me. I mean, you don't even need God because you're not asking God for anything. But imagine when it's so big that you can't handle.
You can't do it without
You need God surely. I want to always be in that place. Even till today, when I get on stage to minister, if I'm going to a place where I've gone to a place to minister those days, and my band was more than the audience. The people I came with to come and minister was more than the people if you see how we're sweating that day, we're giving it 100% as though there was 1 million people in the room. I give God everything. I challenge God to, if God, and God says, it's impossible to please me without faith.
Sorry.
It is impossible to please God without faith. Wow. So I want to be in that corner where God is pleased. And one thing that pleases God is your faith. It's almost like if you're living in a place that everything that surrounds you is a faith living kind of lifestyle and all of those things, God has a smile looking at you because you're telling God that you're the one in charge right now. So that's how I live my life. So if you're telling me something, God just gives me a revelation of massive, and I'm seeing bigger, and I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. And then not just for even that work, even with her schooling at some point, I was always charged up about gig, and she would say, slow down, relax, we just met, you don't even know me, and da. But it's interesting how that's where I come from, and it's so powerful to just dare to believe God again, that the bigger it gets, the godder it is. I don't know, that English is not correct, but that's the best way I can explain it. The bigger the whole, and then even when temptation comes and storms come, God would always, He's there, He's chilled there, and that's where my wife comes in. Just be in a place of rest in the midst of this chaos, and I love it. I enjoy it. I work under pressure. These are things that I do naturally, but so that's where I come from. That's how much God has trained me, and I can give a lot of illustration around this. But yeah,
that was a bonus one. That wasn't even his last one. Right?
That's my last one. So my last one is quite funny. Now let me say this: Father's Day, yeah, and. It was beautiful. My wife took me out, gave me fantastic treats and all of those things. And this is not for my wife. I mean, it was beautiful. Went to church, came back. There are some days my wife tell me, don't take events. Okay, then like Mother's Day. Our first Mother's Day. First Father's Day. I mean, she makes me understand the place of family, and I'm enjoying it. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Now, we went out, had fun, went to a restaurant, she took me to a spa, gave me some good massage that I thought it was 15 minutes. Apparently, it was 1 hour. But by the time the woman said, I'm done, I said, what?
I said, dang, you need an hour and a half.
I didn't know it was so good that I slept, I passed out.
The whole time.
Yes. Anyways, now, with all of these things, one of the things that came to mind for me, especially from Africa, babe, is the fact, and everybody listen carefully to this, is the fact that for our fathers, I don't know if you've heard me say this before, I think you probably would have heard me say this before. For our fathers, people that are within the age of 30 and 40, 45, maybe even 25, most of people in Africa are like that. Not all of them, most of them, and I'm saying this from my research and survey, most of them has lost their dad. And it's very difficult to explain, but I'm going to explain, and it's very painful, even though it's crazy. But it is this whole idea. This is strong, but then also there's a funny part. It's important as every man, husbands, fathers, wherever you are, to learn to take care of yourself. Because there's this whole active thing in our head about being the head of the home, the father of the house. You hustle, like my wife keeps complaining. You work so hard, you push yourself non-stop. My dad was a bus driver, and he put himself under immense pressure to the point where I remember first time we heard weird thing was that he came down from the bus when they were taking a break. They have a particular time where he stops to take a break, and then he came down and he slumped. And by the time they came, he was okay. We heard it. It was okay. Everything was okay. But my dad died in 1997. Yeah, right? Yeah, 1997. And I was just, 18 or so at that point. Now, my dad walked. And sometimes, especially in Africa, especially in Africa, most men want to put in that level of work to take care of family. It's almost like there's responsibility on your shoulder. You're carrying so much. And I did say sometimes you carry it and sometimes you make it look so light, but you're dying within you. You're stressed. You're sick. You have not rested. You're guiding. You are supporting. You are leading. You are working. You are giving. You're pouring so much out and never find time. And then in the end, you see that most men in the house, dads especially, pass on really early, and then the mothers are still there. It becomes interesting because they are not really under pressure. Some of them still work hard, take care of the kids and grow them, but in the end, the kids are now grown. They're now taking care of the mom. The mom is traveling with them, staying, and daddy has gone since. Now, it is not because they did anything bad, but I'm just saying this to help men today to learn to slow down, to learn to say I am tired, to learn to say I need some rest, to learn to say I want to talk to somebody, I'm carrying his head, to learn to even say I am, like in Nigeria, my first time of doing physical was when I came to America. All of the life I lived for something years in Nigeria, I never did physical, I never did general tests. I know they call it physical, I just got used to calling physical. But here's the funny part. But guys, take care of yourself. Guys, slow down. Guys, take a break. Go on vacation. Stuff like that. Yeah. But here's the funny part. Here's what I'm proposing, and everybody listen, especially the brothers, if you're here and you're a guy, please endorse this for me. I'm proposing to the federal government of Nigeria and Joe Biden here, Tinubu and Joe Biden, let me just join those two people, that the same way we do 4 years for one term as presidents.
Why you keep bringing this up?
Can we do terms in marriage for head of home?
We already said we weren't doing that.
For head of home, let's do terms. Let's do that for 4 years. Like me now, I'll do 4 years as head of the home. After that 4 years, I'll come down.
If you guys go back and look at our anniversary special video, our 1 year anniversary, you will see where we decided we weren't going to do that. That wasn't a good idea can do for 4 years. Family.
So we'll be sharing it for 4 years. 4 years. 4 years for me, 4 years for you. You take this one, you carry that weight a bit, and when you come, you give it back. So the thing what do you guys think? That's that. Okay.
I don't want to be president.
You want to be president, but you don't want to be president.
I don't want to be president.
Ladies, become head of the home small. Suffer this thing small. You know what?
But you said something that I think is so powerful, and I just rather be that. You said that the man is like the head and the wife is like the neck. And I was like, I see that, because women, we have influence, and we are called to be responsible, and to wield that power responsibly. Because we can either make or break our men. So while you're trusting your husband to be the leader and the president indefinitely, forever president, you do know that you also have a leadership role in the home, and you direct the flow of almost everything, in the house.
The neck is very powerful.
Yeah, because it determines which way the head goes, which way the head turns.
I'm just joking, but thank you so much. This is beautiful.
This is so fun. We're definitely going to do this again.
Yes. I have a couple more, but we'll stop here.
Yeah, we can say that next time.
Thank you for being part of this.
So y'all try this. Yes, thank you for being a part of this. Y'all try this with y'all friends. It doesn't have to be your significant other. Try with your friends and leave in the comments like how it went, what happened. We're looking forward to hearing it.
We love you.
And now, y'all.
Peace. Don't forget to...
Oh, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and share this video and other videos. And if you haven't watched our other videos, go back, be blessed, have fun, have a laugh, all that good stuff.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.
So thank you guys for joining us for another video. We're taking you guys small, through our meeting and our relationship.
Small is the Nigerian accent.
We're taking you guys through our relationship. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and share. Because other people can be blessed by this content as well.
That's my wife.